There are 10 million business owners in America about to face this moment. Most of them aren't ready. Right now, as you watch this, somewhere between $5 and $10 trillion worth of American businesses are in the process of changing hands. Baby boomers currently own 41% of every privately held small business in this country. More than 10 million businesses and over 70% of those businesses are expected to change hands within this decade. Some of them will sell for everything they're worth. Some of them will sell for far less. And some of them, businesses that took 20, 30, 40 years to build, will simply close. 25 million Americans work in these businesses. 12 million of these jobs are at risk if the owners of these companies don't make the right decisions about their exits. Let me say that again because I want it to land. 12 million jobs, not because the businesses are failing, because the owners don't have a plan. Here's what I want you to understand. Most of these owners have no formal exit plan. Most of them have never had a real conversation with someone who understands what their business is actually worth in today's market. Most of them will make the single biggest financial decision of their lives without the information they need to make it. If you built a business, if you spent some years of your life creating something of real value, and nobody has sat down with you and walked you through what an exit actually looks like, what it's actually worth, and what you need to do right now to protect your asset. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what this transfer means for your business right now, why the timing of your exit decision matters more at this specific moment than at any point in the last decade, what the owners who get this wrong have in common, and 3 specific things you can do today to make sure you're on the right side of it. Be sure to listen to the end, because at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you the one thing that separates the owners who exit well from the ones who don't. And I promise you, it is not what most people think. I'm Matt Ewell, founder of Ridge Trail Capital. 18 years of experience, over 200 million in M&A transactions closed. If you've been building for years and the plan for what comes next is still a question mark, that gap is exactly what this channel is for. We publish a new video every single week covering business valuation, exit planning, what buyers actually look for, and the market intelligence you need. Hit subscribe. Let me give you the full picture of what's actually happening right now, because the scale of this is something most people don't fully appreciate until they see it laid out. The generation that built the American small business economy, the baby boomers, born between 1946 and 1964, are retiring. And as they retire, they're leaving behind businesses that took lifetimes to build, businesses that employ families, businesses that anchor communities, businesses that represent, in many cases, the single largest financial asset the owner has ever created. $5 trillion to $10 trillion in enterprise value. More than 10 million businesses, 25 million workers. The largest transfer of business ownership in American history is happening right now, accelerating every year. And here's the problem that sits at the center of all of it. The system was never designed to help those owners exit well. There's no class in school on how to sell a business. There's no government program. There's no standardized process. There is no one who is required legally or professionally to tell you what your business is actually worth, what a buyer is actually looking for, or what you need to do in the 12 to 24 months before you list your business to protect the value you spent decades building. The accountant helps you minimize taxes. The attorney drafts your contracts. But nobody, until you specifically seek them out, sits down with you and says, here's what your business is worth today. Here's what a buyer is going to look for. And here's what you need to do right now. The majority of owners in this wave have never had that conversation. They have a rough number in their head, a vague sense of what they want on the other side, and an assumption that when the time comes, it will work itself out. Businesses that go to market unprepared, with financials that require explanation, no documented systems, owner dependency baked into every customer relationship, they sell at a discount. Sometimes 20% below what they should have sold for, sometimes 40% below. Sometimes they don't sell at all. And a business that doesn't sell, a viable, profitable business that took 30 years to build, often closes. The owner walks away with the equipment value, the employees lose their job, everything that was built simply disappears. On a $3 million business, a 30% preparation discount is $900,000. That's money that you've earned with your time, your sacrifice, and your expertise, and then gave away because nobody told you what to do before you walked into a transaction. And that discount is not bad luck. It is the predictable, preventable result of a system that never required you to plan for this moment. Here's what makes this moment different from any other moment in the last 20 years. Right now, there are more qualified buyers in this market for small and lower middle market businesses than at almost any point in history. Private equity has moved downstream. Search funds are proliferating. Family offices are diversifying into operating businesses. The buyer pool for your type of business has never been deeper. That's good news for sellers if they move while the window is open. But here's what happens as the wave peaks towards 2030. Most sellers enter the market, supply increases, buyer leverage increases with it, and the premium that well-prepared sellers can command today starts to compress. I've been waiting and watching this market for 18 years. I've closed deals in up markets and down markets. The sellers who exit in the next 3 to 5 years will have more leverage, more options, more competing buyers, more negotiating room than the ones who wait until 2030 and after. Not because their business is better, because the market is, and for the owner who keeps saying not yet, one more year, when we hit the next milestone, here's what the decisions actually cost in real terms. Every year you stay past your optimal exit window is a year of concentration risk. Key employees who have been with you for a decade decide to move on. Institutional knowledge walks out the door. A customer who represents 25% of your revenue renegotiates or doesn't renew. Your health changes. Your energy changes. The businesses that ran on your drive and relationships for 25 years need that same drive, and the capacity to provide it is not infinite. The businesses that will suffer most in this wave are not the bad businesses. They are the good businesses, the solid, profitable, well-run businesses, owned by people who assumed they had more time than they did. I publish a quarterly market intelligence report, current deal multiples by industry, buyer demands, and what's changing in the market right now. If you own a business and you haven't looked at what your industry is actually selling for in today's market, that report is specifically for you. Most owners who read it discover their business is worth more than they assumed, sometimes significantly more. Some discover the window they thought was open is starting to narrow. In either case, the gap between what they assumed and what the market would actually pay before they had this information was real. In some cases, it's $500,000 to $1 million more. That gap is expensive. The link to that report is in the description. Here's the practical side of this. 3 moves, not someday, now. Move 1, get a real number, not the number in your head, a real market-based number grounded in what comparable businesses in your specific industry are actually selling for right now, not 3 years ago, today. Most owners are off by 20 to 40% in either direction. If you're overestimating, you'll overprice and lose serious buyers in the first 60 days. And a listing that goes stale creates its own discount problem because buyers wonder what's wrong. If you're underestimating, and this happens more than people realize, you'll leave real money on the table before the conversation even starts. A 20% undervaluation on a $2.5 million business is $500,000. That's money you built and then gave away because you didn't know the market well enough to ask for it. Move 2, start the clock on preparation. The businesses that sell for the most money are not necessarily the most profitable ones. They are the ones prepared 12 to 24 months before going to market. Clean financials, documented systems, reduced owner dependency, a customer base not concentrated in 2 or 3 names, a management layer that can operate without you in the room. Every one of these factors has a dollar value. Every one can be improved, but not in 30 days. The owners who start now, while the business is strong, will sell for more than the ones who try to prepare in a hurry after they've already decided to list. Move 3, have the conversation you've been putting off. I talk to business owners every week who have been thinking about this for 2, 3, or even 5 years and have never spoken to anyone who actually understands the market. It's because they don't know who to call, or they're worried about confidentiality, or they're not sure if they're ready and they don't want to waste anyone's time. Here's what I want to say to those owners directly. You are not wasting my time. The conversation is free. It takes 45 minutes. And what you get from it is something no amount of online research can give you. A real, experienced, market-based perspective on what your specific business is worth, what a buyer in your industry would look for, and what the exit process genuinely looks like, from the first conversation to the wire transfer. In 18 years of doing this, I have never met an owner who regretted having that conversation. I have met many who regretted not having it 2 years earlier. At the start of this video, I told you that most of the 10 million business owners in this wave aren't ready. I want to say something about that. Those owners are not unprepared because they're not smart. They're not unprepared because they don't care. They're unprepared because the system never required them to prepare. Nobody handed them a roadmap. Nobody told them what the window looked like or how long it would stay open. That is the structural failure of this entire industry. And it's what this channel exists to fix. I promise you, the one thing that separates the owners who exit well from the ones who don't, it's not the size of the business, it's not the industry, it's not market conditions, timing, or luck. It's this. The owners who exit well start the conversation earlier than they think they need to, while they have options and while the market is working in their favor. That is when preparation has the most value. That is when the difference between a good exit and a great exit is still yours to control. If you want to start that conversation, book a call at the link below. No pressure, no pitch, just your specific situation and an honest conversation about what's possible. Because the difference between a good deal and a great deal is almost always information, and being prepared pays for itself. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.